It is that time, Macomb. It is 5 o'clock. We're a little late. It's 5:03 in the studio. It's 5:03, but that means it's time for C4 Sports, the very best in sports talk right here in Macomb, Illinois. Thank you to everybody listening online at 883thedog.com. We appreciate each and every one of you. We had a good turnout for Twitter the last couple of weeks, so be sure to tweet at us. If you tweet us any sports questions, we will get to it whenever the segment comes up. So if it's a football question, we'll get to it when football comes up. Baseball, get to it when baseball. That's kind of how that goes. So please tweet at any of us. I am at LManMatt93, my boy D-Money over there.
Oh, so we really, this is how you should, this is what you do. We show up and then you tell me you got a new nickname and you put it straight on air.
Yep.
Okay, I have to get used to the nickname first. So I got to give my other nicknames. It's the Hulk, it's Primetime Player, PTB Killer, Stand Up, Nightmare City, where you at? And I am Darius Hawkins. You can find me on Twitter at @the_team.
You need to be D-Money on Twitter, and you need to have the profile picture I made for you.
Okay, that's not happening. That
You
is
need
not,
both of those
that's
to
not
happen.
happening.
I made him, Ryan, I made him a profile picture. He's Sam Fisher with the night vision goggles.
You can create a parody account of me and call it D-Money and put that
All right, I'm
picture.
going to do that. You shouldn't have said that.
No, it's okay.
And I'm Ryan Mason. You can follow me at Mason_ILG.
I got to think of a nickname for you.
Too much of a romance.
I have to think of a nickname. No, I'm thinking of a nickname. Don't worry. You will have a nickname by the time the show is over.
Who, me?
Yeah,
Please.
you are. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into it, though. Enough with nicknames and all that fun stuff. Western Illinois had probably the best outing I think I've ever seen them play, I guess, last week in Youngstown, Ohio. Western Illinois picked up its first Missouri Valley Football Conference win of the season. All four quarters, using all four quarters, to defeat number 10 Youngstown State on the road, 30-24. I'm really proud of our guys. Head coach Bob Nielsen said, we've had some rough goes the last 2 weeks. We've really played well, put ourselves in the position to win games, and we finally pulled one out. The big performance of the game was clearly somebody who is a regular listener of the show, quarterback Trenton Norville. I hope he is, at least. It seems like he was. He threw 4 touchdown passes, threw for 291 yards, and for the first time, I think all season, had no turnovers. He was 19 of 26, and wow, that's the best game he's ever played. Got named Missouri Valley Football Conference Player of the Week. And after we were pretty critical of Trenton last week, why I say he clearly listens to the show is because he used that as motivation, which is why we are here. That was clearly to motivate him. And he played the game of his life, which is what I have been waiting for all season, to see the sophomore quarterback play the way he did. And we beat the number 10 FCS school in the nation, which is pretty impressive. After losing a close one to the number 1 team for homecoming, we go to Youngstown State and defeat them on their home turf, number 10. Very impressive. Good job, Leathernecks. Lance Lenore Jr. recorded a career-high 132 yards on 8 catches. He also pulled in the first 2 touchdowns of the season. The 2 touchdown performance ties a career best for Norvell. And yeah, it looks like Joey Borsellino and High C. Scott also added a couple touchdown catches each, probably 1 each. And so it was just an overall very good game for the Leathernecks. Ryan, we'll start with you. Your thoughts on last week's big win?
I posted a picture on Twitter, right?
I think so. Yeah, I think I saw it.
I was happy. Baker didn't run that much, but it was nice to see a passing game, and I like the passing game, especially if it helps out with the running game. So, good for them. Hopefully they could. I mean, I guess we could say there's a little bit of momentum. I mean, almost having a bad loss at Southern, almost beating
North
Dakota State, then Youngstown State, and then you know what? I think I might be picking an upset this week.
Really?
It's at home, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So why not? I mean, if they could win on the road, why not win at home for a big game? So, and just keep it happening. So, I would just like. I like to keep it going. I mean, I just don't want this to be a 1 week thing. I want to see it positive. I mean, I'm not expecting 4 touchdowns per game, but I would like to see at least over 250 yards passing on a consistent basis without a turnover or multiple turnovers. You're going to have a turnover here and there because of a tip ball or something like that. You have a bad pass. But I want to see a consistent 250 yards, maybe a couple touchdowns, and maybe get a win here.
Yeah. Also, I was very impressed, just like everybody in here was, by Trenton Norvell's performance. Like you said, Matt, that's something that we talk about every week. That's definitely been like y'all's big guy to look out for, somebody who had to play better. So it was good for him to show up, specifically against a ranked opponent. I'm not gonna go as far as say that they're gonna win this week. I mean, they have had close games versus ranked teams, but I just have no reason to believe that they're gonna win 2 in a row. But I mean, it's a nice start. We talked about moral victories, and you can take motivation from this, and you can be encouraged from this. But it's nice to finally actually have a win against a very good opponent. So that was nice, just for them to step up on the road as well. It wasn't at home. It was good for them to go to somebody else's house who was a ranked team and be able to take them out.
Yeah, I think really the game centers around Trenton Norvell, and the performance we had, going back to what we talked about last week, was J.C. Baker has had such a good season running the ball, and now that we finally have a passing game to go with his running ability is nice to see. Me personally, I've been waiting for this all season from Trenton Norvell. He is only a sophomore quarterback, but it is his second year starting. So it's good to see him finally just put a complete game together, and it really kind of gives me hope. I don't know if I'm going to say we're going to win this week or if he's going to be able to consistently put up numbers like that for the rest of this season, but the fact that he did it once means he can do it again, and I think if he gets more experience, more confidence, and kind of a better feel for the offense, and maybe some better players around him even for future seasons, that it's definitely a bright future for Western Illinois to see that coming from their young quarterback. And I think the running game has a big part to do with it. You see it all the time. What the Packers try and do, what their struggle has been since they've won the Super Bowl, is finding a running game to open up Aaron Rodgers. You get that play action. The threat of a running game gets 7-8 guys in the box for every down. If you have an effective running game like the Leathernecks do, it opens up that play action and passing game. And I think that's something that Western Illinois really took advantage of for this game, and I'm happy head coach Bob Nielsen saw it. I'm sure he's seen it before and just apparently found out the right way to incorporate that into the game plan before heading to Youngstown, Ohio. And it's fun to see them finally get a big win like that. It's probably the biggest win they've had since I've been here in my 3 years here. So it's just really...
I would say again, since you've been here maybe, but for me it's probably the win in the postseason. My first year here. So.
Yeah, I don't think they've made the playoffs since I've been here, as far as I know. I don't think so. Because yeah, the last 2 years they haven't. So that would probably mean this is the biggest win for me since I've been on campus, to see Western beat the number 10 FCS team in the country. But for me this week, going up against Illinois State, they are at home. It is another big game. This is kind of, I guess you could say, our biggest rival, because I know Illinois State not too fond. People aren't too fond of them here on campus. At least it's the start of a 2-game homestand for Western Illinois. So you'd want to get off to a good start with that one. But I think I'm going with the Redbirds in this one in a close game. I'm going to go 17-13. Illinois State wins this one with a kind of a late rally, I think would be my push. D-Money.
Okay, first of all, we're going to start calling you that, all right? We are not supporting this nickname. You are not about to bring a nickname into this situation, into this relationship, and just think that that's how this is going to work, okay? I make the nicknames for myself. That's why they stick. Darius Hawkins and Shaquille O'Neal are the only 2 people on earth that can make their own nicknames, all right? So unless I start getting overboard and start calling myself like Shaq this or something like that, let me just roll with the nickname.
But I like D-Money.
Well, that's nice, okay? You like D-Money. Some people might like,
Kevin Durant likes the survey.
Well, yeah, and you see how that works. Doesn't work.
But D-Money's not bad. Like
some people like Robin Banks. That don't mean that they should do it. It doesn't really matter if you like. It's about what the people overall like. And the
people like it.
No, they don't.
How do you know? I just made it up like 5 minutes
ago. Because I got a text already saying that it's not liked.
From who?
That's not important.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not important. The text did come in, but because it's a blood relation, it's going to sway to my side regardless. Anyway, well, speaking of blood relations, once again, we're just going to shout out your mom for the cookie she's going to bring me eventually. I don't know why that popped in my head, but yeah, I kind of forgot what you was talking about. But yeah, let's see. Western Illinois versus Illinois State. Like I said, I'm taking Illinois State. Why? Because, why not? They're the ranked team. They're 5-0. What are they right now? Number 10? They're not number 10. They're number 10 right now? They're number 10 in the country?
Yeah, I got them at number 10.
Number 10?
On my computer.
Okay, yeah, so 5-0, undefeated.
I have no reason to believe that Western is going to, like I said, beat ranked opponents in back-to-back weeks.
Yeah, that's a good observation. Just something quick to end on what I got for a scouting report on Illinois State. They are undefeated. The Redbirds used a 20-yard field goal with 3 seconds remaining to beat number 20 Indiana State 20-18 last week. They survived 2 touchdowns in the final 5 minutes and 41 seconds, but Indiana State missed on both 2-point conversion attempts and eventually lost by 2 points. Marshawn Kopridge rushed for 126 yards and a TD. Trey Robertson threw for 170 yards and rushed for another 32. And yeah, that's kind of what I got. So they have a high-powered offense that looks like a very strong running game, but also an equally strong passing game from the scouting report I got in front of me. So it looks like that secondary of Western Illinois will be tested early and often, especially guys like Martinez Davis, who's played really well for Western Illinois this whole season. And so I look for them to kind of have a big game. I think this Western Illinois secondary versus their Illinois State's receivers will be the key matchup for this week's game at Hanson Field. So if you are going to be here this weekend, which I think most people are, definitely go to the field. Try it. We should try and drum up some sort of support for the football team. Because, hey, they beat number 10 last week. Why not do it again this week, maybe, hopefully? So, yeah, I guess go Western. Good luck this week, Trent Norville. If you could have another one of those games, I guess we all should talk bad about him all the time then. Because last week was, like, the harshest we all were on him. We were all like, forget this moral victory stuff. He's got to play better, and, well, he did. So, there you go. Keep that fire, I guess, Trenton.
Yeah, so I guess if he has a bad game, I just guess we're gonna be mean.
Yeah,
right?
I guess
'Cause
that's.
I guess we were kind of nice.
I guess that's the way we do it because we've been focusing on the moral victories, and when we finally gave up on the moral victories, they beat the number 10 team. So I guess that's how it works. So there you go, Darius. There's some good from your favorite thing in the world, moral victories.
Okay. We're not even going to address that. Just keep going.
All right. So we go from Western Illinois College football to the NFL. And Ryan, this is where I turn it over to you for some updates on how the picks are going.
Why must you do that? Well, I guess to start off, we won't do games real quick. There was a couple headlines, especially one about 15 minutes before the show started. Percy Harvin got traded to the Jets for a conditional pick in next year's draft. So, what are your thoughts on it? Mine is way to get wide receivers, but you don't have a quarterback to throw the ball to, unless you're going to throw Michael Vick, but Michael Vick doesn't feel like he needs to get game ready by what he was talking a couple weeks ago. So, is this making a move that they're going to clean house and maybe get a quarterback next year? That's the only thing I could think, because Geno Smith is not your quarterback.
Yeah, he's not, like you said, Mike Vick. He's not either. But the Jets only have a wide receiver, and that's Percy, because Eric Degger's not good. So, I mean, unless we kind of bones too.
But how do we not? We don't know that because, I mean, he had Peyton Manning. That helped him out. But he needs another pocket quarterback. And
Well, then he should have stayed until less money. He knew what he was going to. The man's not good, because if he was good, he'd be making some plays, which I haven't seen him make any plays. Ain't like I've been watching the Jets, but the small portion I have watched, he ain't been doing nothing. And last time I checked, a good receiver makes plays whether they have bad quarterbacks or not, a.k.a. Larry Fitzgerald. Now, Percy Harvin, I don't know what's up with this trade. I feel like I'm going to have to get some more details first. All I saw was that supposedly Seattle didn't think he was a good fit there. And I don't really understand how they just established that now. They definitely thought he was a good fit coming into this season, specifically how he played in the Super Bowl. I mean, he's always explosive. I don't think that's a good move because he's mainly one of your biggest weapons on the team. With a team that doesn't, if we're talking about receivers, they don't really have any receivers either. I mean, Doug Baldwin, I mean, he's not necessarily, they don't have any great, or maybe even good, they have like mediocre guys. So I don't really know what's going on with that, but maybe we should just attribute this to when Dallas Cowboys come to your town and beat you and dominate you on your turf. You feel you have to make personnel decisions. But I can speak incorrectly because when you 5-1 and tied for the best record in football, you can do something. Okay, this is what stubbing with the big dogs is about. Okay? That's what it's all about.
I'm just gonna let you have your fun.
You have my fun.
We'll see how
I
long
mean, when
this
you win
lasts.
5 games in a row, and which will be 6 coming on this week, you know, you can have your fun. You can talk all the trash you want. Time for the best record in football. But I mean, minor details. Not really important
What
right
if
now.
they like lose the rest of these games? Like,
Well,
from here on out?
that's not going to happen. All right, let me tell you why that's not going to happen. Because we still have Jacksonville on our schedule, and we have the Redskins twice. So if we lose all our games, that includes those 3 games, it's going to be some
You
problems.
know why they are? Because you had a tweet that had hashtags in it like a little white girl. That's why you cursed them.
First of all, they cursed themselves when they put a hashtag We Them Boys.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
true.
and then the next day, Julius Randle gets arrested for stealing some underwear and some cologne or something. Okay, that's what took us down here. That had nothing to do with me, right? The
I thought everything has to do with Darius.
It does, but see, it has 95% of everything has to do with me. But I'm so much of a giver and a servant, because in order to be a leader, you have to be a servant. So I'm so much of a servant that some of that 95% I still push away to the others.
All right, Kevin Durant, whatever you say.
No. I'm not. No. That's not the same thing. He's soft. Okay, there's a difference.
All right, but I guess to get back to the point, which is the trade, I kind of like it. I'm going to look at it from Seattle's point of view. I kind of like it because Percy Harvin has barely played for them since he's been in Seattle with all the injuries he's had to go through. And honestly, I don't really think he fits the offense that well. Granted, he is a weapon. He is their most explosive player. Yes, you don't want to necessarily get rid of him, but I look at it like this. I think Seattle, with the moves they've made this offseason, signing a lot of players to very big contracts, they've really limited their window for their championship opportunity because they won that Super Bowl because of how good of a team they were. And when guys, especially like Russell Wilson, I think this is the last year of his rookie contract.
Yeah,
You're going to have to pay that man. They've already paid like Sherman and Marshawn Lynch and Cam Chancellor and guys like that, Earl Thomas, and you can only pay people so much money. There is a salary cap in football, and Seattle, I don't know how much cap space there is. I would like to pull up the numbers at some point, but all I know is they don't have much wiggle room, and when people's contracts start to come up, especially with the breakout year they had last year, and they're continuing to be superstars, they're going to want to be paid like superstars, and it's a team game. You need a deep team to win a Super Bowl, which was proven last year. And they don't have the money, I think, to keep this team together. So you trade away Percy Harvin for some draft picks. You get some youth in there, some more, I guess you could say, rookie contracts if you want to look at it like that. And you get rid of Percy Harvin's contract as well, which I think was a couple million. So at least you free up some cap space if you're Seattle. So honestly, at the end of the day, yeah, they lose probably their most explosive weapon, but he barely saw the field in his time in Seattle, and they need the cap space. So I think this was a hit they could afford to take. And honestly, if I was a Seahawks fan, I think I would like the trade. I would be okay with it,
Really?
just for that reason.
For the tax?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm seeing right now that in his regular season career, Percy Harvin, just for Seattle, he made 23 catches overall, and he made $18.3 million.
Yeah.
So, yeah, his production definitely wasn't there. I mean, I still feel like he's in his
I just
prime,
think it was because
but
he was hurt so much in
Really?
Seattle.
I wonder if secretly maybe it's something in the locker room.
You think so?
Maybe I'm reaching a little bit, but if you look at last week, Doug Baldwin yelling at Russell Wilson, which I don't really have a problem with. Sometimes communication goes bad in the camera, makes it look worse than what it is. But after that, Seattle has had 2 losses where they probably shouldn't have lost either game to us and then to San Diego. Maybe, I don't know, maybe they're trying to shake something up because personnel-wise, it really doesn't make sense to me. If you want to trade them, I mean, why not do that in the offseason? Because you have another chance to repeat this year. I still personally feel like they're the best team in the NFC.
Yeah.
So I don't know why they would make a move like this, but it just doesn't make sense. So that's why I feel like that's why I said I'm waiting for like some more to come out of this, like another story or something. Because for right now, it doesn't make sense to me.
I mean, he had 2 weeks ago. He had those 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
He brought back by holding penalties on the offensive line. So that's showing you right there that they go to him for those explosive plays. It's not his fault.
Exactly.
And they could have destroyed. I don't know who this is. But they could have just up and destroyed him, but nope.
I think it was Redskins. That's what it was.
Redskins?
Yeah.
So, beat the Redskins. Yeah, it was the Redskins. And made it a lot closer, 27-17.
Yeah.
Was the score. So, yeah, I'm surprised. I just want to know what the Jets are going to do with this more than
Yeah, that's
what,
interesting.
more than what Seattle's going to do.
How do you think he fits in then? In New
Well,
York?
there goes. Helps him out, I guess, with the receiving, maybe. Like I said, I'm just questioning who's going to throw it to him. and there goes your running game because he does that little slot come back reverse thing.
jet sweep.
So I'm guessing to help out Johnson and Ivory, even though Ivory had a good game last night. They were talking pregame of how disappointing their rushing game has been. So maybe it's more of he's going to come in as a rushing reverse role. I have no idea. This just shocked me that they would trade Percy Harvin.
I agree.
Yeah, I think I got Seattle's salaries up here right in front of me. Percy Harvin was the highest paid player on the team by a per year average. This year he was making $11 million. That was his base salary and guaranteed money for this season. So that frees up a big chunk of change for the Seahawks as compared to Richard Sherman. Just this season, he's only making $1.4 million of that big contract he had. So I think they tried to spread that out, which is smart. That's why he got the long deal, because he can spread out the
I think
money
he's
a
still
lot more.
on his old contract.
He is?
That's probably why.
I thought it was up last season.
Well,
Last year.
I thought he still had one
That
more
could
year.
be it.
And then next year he starts.
Yeah, he's still on. I got it right here. For this this year, he's only on 1.4 million. Yeah, Russell Wilson still on his rookie contract. Marshawn Lynch making $6 million this year. Earl Thomas 4.7 million. Cam Chancellor 4.7. Brandon Levine is making 5.5. Michael Bennett 2 million. So these are all big numbers for a lot of guys. So
You're
yeah,
gonna expect him to pay.
yeah, and
Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
What? At least 10.
yeah, probably I hear 8 to 10. Probably.
Yeah, he's probably gonna get that same type of deal Dalton and them been getting.
Yeah.
Which is Dalton's showing it. Kaepernick slowly showing it. But I guess I would put my, and it's weird for me saying, I guess I'd put my faith more in Russell Wilson out of those three
Yeah.
than anybody else. Probably Russell Wilson, Andy Dalton, and then Kaepernick. Kaepernick gets lucky on his passes, it seems like. So, that's the big. Anybody else doing big football news this week?
No, we talked about last week. Adrian Peterson just is a weird, weird dude.
You know, it's been a week without controversy, really, unless you're talking college football
or stealing underwear and cologne.
That's really not.
Yeah, he's important, but at the same time, like you said, he's not really that important. And he's an idiot. So.
Yeah. So, I guess let's go to pick 'em.
Yes.
Or do we want to take our first commercial break and then do?
No, let's go ahead and go through the picks first,
Go
real
through
quick.
the picks first? Okay. First game that comes up on my screen is for me and Matt. Packers are hosting the Panthers. Green Bay's looking good. They got lucky. I watched all that game.
Oh, that was crazy.
Aaron Rodgers is the man.
He is
I had
the-
multiple friends from back home who hate the Packers. Hate the Packers with a passion, including Mark, his father, Mark Sr., Mark Wright Sr., sent me a nice little tweet over Twitter telling me about how much he hates the Packers, but he would like give his left arm for Aaron Rodgers to be the Bears quarterback. And
That happens.
so, yeah, I even had family who hate the Packers tell me Aaron Rodgers is the man. Multiple friends from back home who can't stand the Packers, they're like, yeah, Aaron Rodgers is basically a god. So, yeah, even you had Bears fans just gave Aaron Rodgers a nice little tip of the hat for last week.
Yeah, so it was nice to see that win. I was nervous. It was a nervous Sunday for me because I had that, and then I took a nap and missed Dallas's wonderful game.
I missed that because we only get cable in
Yeah,
dorms.
don't-
We had to
yeah.
watch that lame Bears game. Oh boy,
Yeah,
that was
and
a
then
snore.
I
That was
woke
a
up
snore.
just in time to watch the Cardinals in Game 2 of the NLCS, their only win of the series, but nerve-wracking because it came down to the last at bat. So I had like no fingernails at the end of Sunday night. So Green Bay's favored by 6.5. I have them winning. I have Green Bay winning. Even though they tied last week, I still have no faith in the Panthers. I have faith in Aaron Rodgers. They're back at home. Finally, I think they've been on the road for 2 straight games, maybe. No, just 1 straight. But they're back. I think they keep on rolling wins. I would just like to see Eddie Lacy get a couple more rushes. I know he's still probably, I don't know what's wrong with him, but I I'd like to see Eddie Lacy run a little bit more. Maybe that will happen if Aaron Rodgers can keep a lead.
I agree with you. Also, have the Packers winning this game. Aaron Rodgers, like I told y'all last week, I feel like he's definitely up there in the MVP race. I just want to say, though, the Panthers are ugly. And the reason I say this is because last week, when they tied with Cincinnati, I've never seen so many football players happy about a tie. Saw all the Panthers players jumping around. I'm like, you fools, that's basically like a loss. That doesn't help you in the playoff standings. They were, I'm like, you basically hopping around for taking the L. So them and Cincinnati, both of them are ugly for tying. I mean, I wish that the Eagles and Giants would have did that last week, but I mean, that's a different story. But yeah, I got the Packers, Aaron Rodgers, by the skin of his teeth, man. He got him with the little Dan Marino fake, but the big play, I forgot who the offensive lineman was. Yeah, TJ Lane, who picked up that fumble on 3rd down. Which, I mean, all Miami had to do was pick up the ball. That game was exciting, though. It was an exciting football game because it was back and forth. It was like neither one of y'all had defenses out there.
In the second half.
Yeah, the second half.
Yeah, it was like a shoot 'em up. Everybody back and forth. So it was
I
exciting.
heard a lot of people. Packers had a couple defensive backs go down.
Yeah,
both-
Tramon
both
Williams went
started
And
down.
then they were saying that it was a little warmer than it has been in Miami.
They had.
Yeah.
I felt bad for they had these two. I don't know who they were, but they had it looked like almost like Packers interns, where these two little dudes who had to hold up heat shields. It was like a big just wall that they held over the benches. I was like, wow, I don't want that job. That kind of sucks.
Yeah, but like I said, Assembly got the Packers winning this one.
Yeah,
I think it's gonna be close though. I think it's gonna be a close game.
Yeah. Yeah, I have to say I'm mad at the Panthers and I'm mad at the Bears because they're both making me look very stupid right now from our preseason picks. I had the Panthers winning the South and I had the Bears winning the North. I had the Bears going to the NFC Championship game and getting smoked by the Seahawks. And yeah, that's probably not going to happen. I don't know why I ever trusted Jay Cutler. I thought even Jay Cutler couldn't mess it up with all the talent he has around him. But of course, Jay Cutler has found a way to do that. And Bears fans, yes, all the they make for him is excuses. Oh, it's the defense. Oh, it's the special teams. Nope, Jay Cutler has thrown so many interceptions in the fourth quarter that have directly led to them losing. But we'll get to that when we go to the Bears real quick because, yeah, I got some stuff to say about that. But in terms of Aaron Rodgers, I have him 3rd for the MVP right now, Darius. I have DeMarco Murray at 2 and J.J. Watt still at a slight lead for number 1. But looking at Aaron Rodgers' numbers, I think he's thrown 11 straight touchdowns now without an interception. His numbers for the year are 1,400 yards, a completion percentage of 65%, 15 touchdowns, 1 interception, and a QBR of 82.4. And the modern-day NFL, the success for winning offensively, as you have a good quarterback who takes care of the ball, and there's nobody better than Aaron Rodgers for my money. Yes, I guess you could say I'm biased, but and as most unbiased as I can be, he's the best player in the NFL right now. He does more with less, is the way I look at it. Because obviously, for me, Packers fan in Chicago, always going to compare him to Jay Cutler. I feel like Jay Cutler does less with more. With all the talent around him, he still finds ways to lose games. And you look at Aaron Rodgers, 15 touchdowns, only 1 interception all season. I'm pretty sure it came off the hands of Jordy Nelson in like week 2, so it wasn't even his fault. Aaron Rodgers makes those guys look so good. It was proven when Greg Jennings went to Minnesota and hasn't done anything there. I guess you could make the case he's at the end of his career, but still, Aaron Rodgers makes his receivers look so good. And yeah, I just feel like nobody else does more with less than Aaron Rodgers does in the NFL. The guy is insane. One of the clutchest players in the NFL, and he proved it last week. That was crazy. Other than the fourth quarter and the last week against the Bears, which still to this day is probably the clutchest drive I've ever seen to beat the Bears and win the NFC North last year. That drive goes right up there with that against the Dolphins. The fake spike and that last touchdown pass with 3 seconds left, just wow. I'm happy I'm a Packers fan. We're pretty lucky because you look at the misery. Jay Cutler is the best quarterback the Bears have ever had, and we go from Brett Favre, the reason I'm a Packers fan, to Aaron Rodgers. So I find that kind of funny.
What the NFL should be scared of right now is that he found his Vergie Adams last week. And hopefully that keeps up because guess what? That gives you 3 weapons instead of 2. Well, 1.5. I think Cobb still gets.
Yeah, I think
Not
he's a
as
little
much.
overrated. And I think Eddie Lacy is showing he's overrated as well. I just don't think he's that good. I mean, yeah, he had the concussion, I think an ankle injury as well, but for all intents and purposes, he's healthy, right now. And I don't know, my dad has said it too, and I kind of agree with him a little bit, I think Eddie Lacy is a bit overrated. I don't think he has the the vertical speed or lateral speed, I guess, in general. He's very patient, which is good, but sometimes I feel he's a little too patient with when he's running. It's just you got to hit the hole, bro. Just get upfield, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I think his footwork is a little slow. He's just a beast. He's just strong as heck. And, I mean, you could see that in his running, but I don't know. I just feel like he's a bit overrated.
Yeah, so we all have, you have Green Bay, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got Green Bay. Like 21-14.
I need a little bit more points. I need Randall Cobb to have a good game.
I need Aaron Rodgers to have a game, too.
So, next game up here is it's not the best game, but in like the early slot games, it's probably the best one. It is Cincinnati Bengals at Indianapolis Colts. The Bengals tied, a disappointing tie because I was cheering for them to win. But Andrew Luck he's my number one for MVP right now. Almost 2,000 yards already, 17 TDs. Probably throw in a couple rushing TDs. I don't have that stat with me right now. I know I've seen at least 2, I think, this season so far. I mean, he's doing things. He's leaving off where Peyton Manning left off. I mean, you've got almost the same quarterback. So they're favored only by 3.5, but I'm gonna say at least a double-digit win for Indianapolis. They just look unstoppable, especially at home. So,
Yeah, I got some of their team stats in front of me. They're actually first in the NFL right now in passing. They're 16th in rushing, and their defense is 10th overall. So they just kind of have the complete package, and I completely agree with you of that RG3 Andrew Luck kind of draft class. I do feel Andrew Luck is by far the best prospect to come out of that. He does kind of have that Peyton Manning mold about him. I wouldn't say he's quite Peyton Manning-esque yet, but I think even if RG3 was healthy, I would still give me Andrew Luck 7 days out of the week. Give me Luck over RG3. And I think it's kind of harsh to compare them. They're always going to be compared together, I think. But yeah, I think Andrew Luck is just kind of that similar mold. What I said about Aaron Rodgers, you want a quarterback who's going to make right choices with the ball, go out and win you games, and take care of the ball above all else. And I just see that's what Andrew Luck has been doing this year, as well as making plays with his legs. His mobility is extremely underrated. So I'm a big Andrew Luck fan. Know a lot about the Colts, kind of keep an eye on them because of my stepmom's family being from Indianapolis, and they're all huge Colts fans. So I got them beating Cincinnati in this one as well. Cincinnati probably should have won that game last week. I saw overtime. Not too exciting of an overtime period, I guess, and don't really know how the kicker missed that last field goal. Wasn't quite a chip shot, but it was still pretty close. And I guess, yeah, I'd say Colts 24, Bengals 20 for me in this one. And I kind of agree with you, Darius, about who was it? The Panthers, who were happy that there was a tie. That's what I tell people. Why soccer will never truly catch on in America, I feel, is one, it's the flopping. The flopping is absolutely ridiculous in soccer. And two is the ties. I personally don't have a problem with the tie, I guess, in soccer's context, because honestly, it's kind of a part of the game. But Americans hate ties, so especially in the game of football, I don't know why you're running around out there celebrating a tie, because at least to compare it to soccer, you have a team like a QPR playing Manchester United. If you're QPR and you're going to get a draw against Manchester United, that's something to go run around and celebrate, but we don't have that parity in the NFL. I could go on and on why we don't, but we don't. It's not the same thing. It's not even close, so I don't know why you're happy about a tie, I guess. Maybe it's better than a loss, but honestly, not really.
Yeah. So, as far as this game, I have the Colts as well.
Yeah, I took Colts.
Yeah, for me, it's really about who's the hot team right now. I mean, the Cincinnati, they started off hot, had the 3-game winning streak. They were the talk of ESPN a little bit, but then New England smacked them in the mouth. They tied to Cincinnati after Mike Nugent missed that field goal that you mentioned earlier, Matt. So I got to go with the Colts. Like you said, Ryan, Andrew Luck is playing MVP caliber football, and the Colts are also my fantasy defensive team, which is not who I drafted, but it ended up being a clutch pickup after I had a few defensive, problems, because I drafted the Rams because I thought they were going to be good, and that just fell apart.
A lot of people thought that.
Yeah. So I mean, the Colts, I ended up picking them up, and they have actually helped my record. I only lost one game. That was the first game of the season, and this is the actual team I drafted once again. Oh, kind of like the Cowboys, you know, just like that. Lose the first game, but we've been winning since then. So no more to even say right there. That's just how you win.
The more you talk about the Cowboys winning, the more I'm going to call you D-Money.
That's not how that should work. Because it's not like I'm talking about somebody else. This is my team. Okay, I should be able to talk about my team winning.
Sure.
Whatever.
Hey man,
You're outvoted right now.
hey man, what you be
Where's
outvoted?
Adam Nat so
You know,
you can be
first
even
of all,
more
there's no
outvoted?
such thing as Darius being outvoted, okay? Because I got the people with me, the people in the streets, okay, in the corporations.
Back at the Brook.
You have America.
You have
'cause it's
the Brook
America.
with
No,
you?
I have America, and don't forget China. Shout out China,
Why China?
because China, I got the following in China, overseas. Not everywhere overseas. Like Europe, we still working on that, but China.
I got Europe. Europe are my people.
Okay.
I'm with the Europeans.
Well, I'm still working on that though. Okay.
I
Me
mean,
and
we
the
can work on a
Italians.
deal.
are
Well,
getting
you
stuff
said
done.
that I'm an honorary member of Nightmare City Records, so maybe that can be worked
When
out.
did I say
at the
this?
soccer game?
Did I say that?
Yeah, you said that at the
I
soccer
don't
game, and
believe
you would
it.
give me a shirt.
Oh, okay. Well, first of all, I give a lot of people shirts.
No, you
Alright.
said I was part of it.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, I vividly remember
You
it.
vividly
It made
remember
my
it?
day.
Okay. Well then.
Then I gave you a shout out during the soccer broadcast.
Okay. Well,
That was like Nightmare Records, stand up.
See, that's how I know I didn't say that because it's Nightmare City Records. I don't know
Whatever.
what Nightmare
Same
Records
thing.
is. Nightmare
Close
is a
enough.
different thing. What close enough? Okay, you either have to be accurate or you're not down. All right.
No, you said I was part of the thing.
Okay.
So I'm a part of the thing.
So what do you do in it? Do you rap?
I promote.
Okay, that's fine. We need that. Sounds good to me.
Do you want to be a part of it, Ryan?
How are you gonna ask somebody else to be part of a label that I started? See, this is why your promotions are limited. Just
All right,
give
just
other people
next
my
game.
job.
Next game. Wow. We're getting off subject. Focus, guys. Focus.
Hey, it's all right, man. This is C4
Focus.
Sports. This is what the people want to hear.
All right, next game. We got Dolphins at the Chicago Bears. Chicago Bears are favored by 3.5. I had the Bears winning because I don't know they're at home. I guess I'll do that. The only reason why I'm picking is that you guys are at home because you guys, Forte actually had some 157 yards, I think, of total offense with 2
He's
touchdowns.
leading the league in catches right now.
Yeah, because all short passes. I don't know why he's leading the league in catches. Surprises me when you have Marshall and Jeffrey there also. But I'm going to say it's close. I'm going to say I think the spread is correct. I'm going to say 3 points. Chicago wins. I wouldn't be surprised if they lost another game at home. So I just don't have confidence in their offense or their defense. I think they got a little bit lucky down in Atlanta, even though it was kind of a big margin win. They just didn't look good. They need to change my mind if I'm going to keep on picking them throughout the rest of the year.
I gotta go with the Bears on this one. I mean, Miami did play all tough last week, like we talked about earlier. But I don't know. I don't know if they can go into Chicago and win this game. I don't really know what to think about the Dolphins. I don't believe that they're not the worst team in the league. Of course not. They're not even the worst team in the division. But they're not great either. The Bears, still trying to figure them out. They might be able to get a wild card spot just because I don't trust Detroit. Detroit has to prove something eventually. This might be the week they play New Orleans this week, even though New Orleans is not that good. But still, Detroit eventually at some point has to fall. Like you, Matt, I did pick the Bears to win the division. I didn't pick them to go to the NFC Championship game. We're not going to say who I picked to go there because it's worse than the Bears. But, yeah. Yeah, it was well, fine. I guess you are going to say it was the
I
Saints.
whispered it. I don't know if
Yeah.
they heard.
No, they heard you because you whispered it twice. Okay. So the first time they didn't know who that was. They thought it was somebody in their house. Second time they knew it was you. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the Bears winning this. What is the Bears record? Are they 3-3?
3-3.
3-3 right now. So what?
0-2 at home.
0-2 at home. Wow. Oh yeah, I forgot they struggled to win at home. That's kind of funny though. But I'll just keep that to laughing at Bears fans. But yeah, they'll go ahead and get their first home win this week.
I want to pick the Dolphins because of how well they played the Packers last week, especially defensively. They really gave Aaron Rodgers trouble for the majority of that game, but I got to go with the Bears eventually. There's too much talent on the team. Too much talent on the Bears team for them to be struggling the way they are. I mean, you have Alshon Jeffrey, Brandon Marshall, Martellus Bennett, Matt Forte, and a solid offensive line. It's not like the offensive line we've seen in years past where Cutler is the most sacked or second most sacked quarterback in the NFL. They have a good, solid offensive line. So I don't know how they're struggling right now. An 0-2 at home, I don't understand. Bears, like, I told you I got over the hate. I'm over the hate, but I mean, come on. I'm being real with you right now. Like, you really got to get your stuff together because there's really no excuse for why you're 3-3 at all. And Bears fans, please stop. Please, this is my plea to you. Stop protecting Jay Cutler. His career has no results, all excuses in Chicago. Enough is enough. The man takes no responsibility. It's never his fault, never Jay's fault. It's always somebody else's fault, or it's the media's fault, or something like that. The man throws, he's not clutch. I know Bears fans like to tweet about all his game-winning drives, especially compared to Aaron Rodgers and stuff like that. I've never seen a quarterback other than maybe like Tony Romo or somebody like that lose more games for his team than Jay Cutler does. So I really want to pick the Dolphins, but I can't. I just think the Bears, there's too much talent. I've got Tannehill's numbers, who really impressed me. That was the first time I've really been impressed by Tannehill, was his second half against the Packers last week. First half was rough. He threw 2 picks, but he was great in the second half. His numbers for this year aren't terrific. He's got 1,100 yards, 60% completion, 8 touchdowns, 5 picks with 2 fumbles. His QBR is only a 48. But he seems to be getting better as time goes on. That Packers game was the best I've seen him look. That defense looked terrific against Aaron Rodgers and Green Bay.
I don't know where that defense came from, because their defense has been their sore spot for a while.
They looked great last week.
I don't know if it was just they were just waiting for that whole team from Green Bay to come down and wait for that second
I think it had a
half.
lot to do with the Packers couldn't run on them very well. So, I mean, it's kind of gotten to the point where teams know what you're going to get when you face the Packers. It's going to be Aaron Rodgers and all the quick routes he does with his receivers. But Aaron Rodgers kind of got him a few times going downfield as well. But, yeah, my head and everything says the Dolphins, but at the end of the day, there's just too much talent for the Bears. It's in Chicago as well. They have to win at Soldier Field eventually. So I'm going Bears 21-20 in this one.
Going to another game, I guess we'll talk about it. I don't know why we have to. The New York Giants at the Dallas Cowboys. There's somebody here that likes the Dallas Cowboys, and I guess we'll let them talk. But first, they are favored by 6.5.
I like how he said that so quick. I was just going to jump on the mic when he said
Yeah.
Yeah, you thought you were.
But here is 6.5 points, Dallas. Darius, I told you that I did have Dallas, but just hearing you in studio, I've changed my mind. Go Giants.
Dang.
Go Giants.
That's fine.
Dang.
That's fine
Go
because
By 1 point. I'm just doing this just because maybe get an extra win. Maybe Dallas is going to have a low from
Maybe
their...
Tony Romo's going to be Tony Romo.
Yeah, Tony Romo. I mean, he's back at home, so, hey, there's probably going to be a lot of Giants.
Hey man,
fans
he's been
at
playing
Dallas.
great since after the first week. He has the 4th best passer rating in the league. So
All I'm saying is Tony Romo comes out at the most inopportune time.
that's December.
That is true.
We're fine right now.
That's
It's
true.
too early. So I'm not even concerned.
That is true.
All I have to say is, I said last week on this radio, there's no way that the New York Giants can play with us on the same football field. And I said we're better off playing the San Francisco Giants. So I'm staying with that. Dallas 6 in a row.
Speaking
That's
of,
all you're just going to say?
That's all. I mean, I have nothing else to say. I mean, we're tied for the best record in the NFL. You're not going to hear me say we're the best team in football because I don't
what's
believe
the
that.
record for, if you had to take a look, what's your final record? Because at the beginning of
did
the
you
year,
have him at 500?
at the beginning
No.
of the year, you
I thought we
said
were gonna be like
8-8.
Yeah, that
Said
and that was
8-8.
and that was I was
Optimistic?
reaching then because when the schedule first came out, I thought we were gonna be like 7-9, 6-10. Looking at the schedule right now, it's kind of hard. The only games that I really see that I'm even concerned about a little bit is Arizona, playing Philly, and then playing the Bears. That's the only games I'm really concerned about. So that's 4 games. And then I feel like we're going to end up losing to the Giants at least once just because it is a divisional opponent. I hope it's not this week. So, I mean, worst comes to worst, maybe 11-5. But see, but when you say that, it don't sound right. It's like the Cowboys winning, it don't sound like we'll do something like that.
A lot could change if one person goes down.
Exactly. And we keep
And
running the
hasn't
ball.
DeMarco Murray not had a full season
Yeah.
ever?
Yeah.
And I saw something on Around the Horn about how he's on pace to set the most carries ever in an NFL season.
Yeah. He's on pace for 400
And it's going to
carries.
hurt you more if Randall, my guess is Randall's still playing because
Yeah.
Jerry Jones won't suspend a player to save his life.
Yeah, well, I'm
Have
gonna,
the electric chair or sit your player down, he's going to take the electric chair every time because I guess he just doesn't think with his mind at all because he's losing and having Alzheimer's down there.
Hey, well,
No, I'm sorry. I'm just Jerry Jones is one of the worst owners, presidents, whatever title he wants to give, for not sitting a player down for a suspension. He has to wait for the league to do it. He won't do it.
And at this point, I'm gonna ride with Jerry because of that, and the reason I'm going to is because we are 5-1. So, and last time I checked, when Dallas was winning Super Bowls, we had players with drug problems and everything. So maybe this is a sign that we about to take another Super Bowl. And then, yeah, that's really all I got to say. I don't support, stealing nothing, but hey, dude.
I guess.
Hey. We winning football games. I'm not complaining. I'll complain when we start losing.
If that's what you want to say, I guess.
I mean,
go for it.
Yeah, I mean, it may not be the morally
Just
correct
win,
thing
baby,
to say.
win.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we all care about.
Yeah.
That's what we getting banners for.
For me, I think it goes to Tony Romo. Like I said, I think the Cowboys win and lose based off Tony Romo. You look, I got his numbers right here. 1,500 yards this season, 69 completion percentage, 11 touchdowns, 5 picks, a QBR of 80.5, which I believe is the highest, if it stays like that, highest of his career. So the Cowboys, I think they live and die with Tony Romo. DeMarco Murray may be, in my opinion, number 2 for the NFL's MVP right now. And the way he's playing, he'll probably jump J.J. Watt at some time soon because it's going to be hard for a defensive tackle to keep up with a running back if we're looking at MVP votes. But at the end of the day, I think the Cowboys win and lose based off Tony Romo. And I think right now, like Darius said, it's not December. So that's why I got Cowboys 31-14 in this one because I don't think the Giants are very good. They're lucky to be 3-3 in my opinion right now. So I'm going Cowboys big in this one. And there you go, Darius, 6-1 for your Cowboys. Adam Feiner is in the building though. So Adam, do you have any thoughts on the surprising start for the Cowboys and your pick for this Cowboys and Giants game this week?
As far as the pick, I'm gonna go Cowboys again. It's weird to say Cowboys 6-1.
Yeah.
I grew up in the 90s per se, but I don't remember Aikman throwing to Irvin. As far as the season, they're running the ball. I've said it all along about the Cowboys. They're successful when they run the ball and give the ball to DeMarco Murray, and they're reaping the benefits of his productivity right now.
Can he keep it up though? He's on pace, we just said, to set the NFL record for most carries in the season.
No, that's why.
Mhm.
That's exactly why I don't think it. It's in today's NFL. You don't see guys go over 25 carries, and what he's doing is actually it's amazing and it's old school, but I don't think it works in today's NFL. You're going to see Tony Romo end up swinging the ball around 40 times, and if the Cowboys are better for that, I don't know.
Yeah, well, we have to wait and see.
I will say this though. Last week we did play Dunbar and Randall Moore last week, so hopefully that's a good sign of things to come. Murray did carry the ball a little bit less than he did 2 weeks ago, and technically he still fumbled. It didn't really count, but he did fumble last week. The ball kind of slipped out of his hands and flew into the air, but it flew out of bounds. So he needs to keep a hold on the football.
Good observations from our resident Cowboys fan, Mr. Darius Hawkins.
All right, our last game that we're going to cover is 49ers heading to the Denver Broncos. Denver Broncos, surprisingly, are 7-point favorites in this game. Peyton Manning needs 3 touchdowns to break Brett Favre's record for most touchdowns, passing touchdowns. I thought he was going to get it against the Jets. I don't know. I just had that feeling that he was just going to light him up. But I have Denver winning, and I'm going to say by 10 points. I don't think it's close at all. Kaepernick needs to get exposed one of these times, and I'm hoping it's this week. I'm just tired of Kaepernick talk, that he's a good quarterback. I just don't see it. It's his legs that make him look a little bit better, and the passes he makes, they were all up with that pass against for Frank Gore, I forget who, all the way on the other side. Against his body. You know why he made that pass? Because nobody was over there. There was a defender over there. It would have been tipped or intercepted without a problem. So I don't have faith in him. Go Broncos. Please destroy him by at least 10 points.
I'm with you on this one. I definitely have the Broncos winning this. I personally don't care about Peyton Manning breaking the record because I don't like him and I don't like Brett Favre either. So,
Hey,
but hey, whatever. He did it to himself. I didn't have no problem with him when he was in Green Bay. All right, but when he started doing that, I'm retiring, then I'm coming back, all that crap. I don't know.
I just care about him being in Green Bay.
Yeah, I didn't.
That's how I remember Brett
I
Favre. He
didn't like-
retired in 2007.
Okay, well, if that's what you want to say. So,
He retired in 2007.
so we gonna forget that whole Viking stand.
What are you talking about?
Oh, yeah, that
What are
didn't
you talking
exist.
about, Darius? That never happened.
I like that. Dude. Yeah, I do have the Broncos winning. 49ers 4-2. I still said at the beginning of the season they were gonna fall off, not make the playoffs. It's not really looking too good right now, but I'm just gonna stick with it. They're not gonna make the playoffs. Hopefully Arizona or somebody. I don't know, Seattle. I don't know. But I gotta go with Denver here just to support my own theory of San Francisco. They gotta lose something at some point. They've been playing okay. They haven't really beat anybody to me either. The same.
And they've just kind of scooted by these last couple of games, one by the skin of their teeth. I also have the Broncos. I got them 27-19 in this game. Peyton Manning, if there's anybody I think who's better than Aaron Rodgers in the NFL, it would be Peyton Manning. He's got this season alone 1,500 yards already, 66 completion percentage, 15 touchdowns, 3 picks, 85.2 QBR. Those numbers speak for themselves. I think he has a big game against San Francisco, and I agree Colin Kaepernick is one of the most overrated players in the NFL for me. I do not think he's a good quarterback. I don't know why Ron Jaworski, I think 2 years ago, before the season started, said Kaepernick will be one of the top 10 greatest quarterbacks of all time when his career is over. That will never happen. And I do think the 49ers, I also picked them to have a down year and miss the playoffs. I do see that still happening. I think the Cardinals are going to overtake them for that kind of second place spot in the West. Obviously, I think Seattle gets the first place spot. So I do see this as a down year for San Francisco. I already said they've won a couple games by the skin of their teeth. And yeah, Kaepernick I just don't see it. He's got the legs, and I mean, he's got a strong arm, but I don't think he has the mind or the accuracy or the decision making to be really an effective, a top 10 all-time NFL quarterback. So yeah, got Peyton Manning and Denver in this game. I think he breaks Favre's record, which will make me very sad.
I'm alone on this one. I just noticed. I'm going 49ers, and my case is not helped out by Manning getting close to the record, Denver getting on track going. Patrick Willis and Mike Upati are going to be out for San Fran. I did not know that, but I'm going to stick to my prediction.
You can trade. He changes all the time.
What did I change?
I thought you did change something.
You see these false accusations. You see that this is a shame. This is what happens when your team is tied for the best record in football. People just try to tear you down.
I'm just going to stay with San Fran. I like what their secondary's doing. Brian Quick for St. Louis was supposed to have a breakout game against them. He was shut down for no catches. None of the St. Louis receivers were open. I watched the majority of that game. I like what they're doing, and I think that they can control Manning. I mean, you can't stop him, per se. But if I could see Manning's line being 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, I can definitely see that.
All right, so you got it's all Denver except for Mr. Adam. He's got
You changed
49ers.
twice this season. Just
That's not all the time. That's a couple.
All right, let's run through the rest of the games. Just say who you got, and that will should bring us to our first break as we're approaching the top of the hour right here. So Ryan, just go down the list. Give a
Is this a slick way for
just
you
a
to
quick
get
input.
This is a slick way for you to get the rest of your picks in, Matt? This
Yeah,
is what you
Yeah.
doing?
I don't do I do them here. I do them now.
Minnesota at Buffalo. I have Buffalo winning.
Yeah, I got Buffalo.
Everybody has. So you did that one. New Orleans Saints at Detroit Lions. I have Saints.
This is tough, but I went with Detroit.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. I'm going with the Lions.
I feel like it's
I was
gonna-
I have the schedule right here, and I was looking at that, and that's kind of what I've been thinking about this whole time.
I feel like it's going to backfire.
I got Lions by 1-2 points. Adam, what do you got?
Let me see. Yeah, I have the Saints.
Okay. Cleveland at Jacksonville. I think we're on a concurrence that you have Cleveland winning.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, say
We are all on concurrence.
Boom.
A C4 concurrence. Another C4 concurrence
Hey,
for
we
the
need a
next
sound
game.
effect for that.
Seattle at St. Louis, right?
Yep. Assuming you all mean St. Louis.
Yeah.
I think that's safe to say
And
you all mean
another
St. Louis.
one with Baltimore beating Atlanta.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
That's 3
Um,
explosions we
yep.
just missed if we had a sound effect.
Boom, boom, boom. Tennessee Titans at the Washington Redskins.
Ah, that's a tough one. I'm going Titans. I looked at it, I was like, oh, that's tough. I was like, wait, no, Washington is not playing very well. Yeah, exactly.
I have the Redskins. They're going to get their second win of the season, okay? I have a little bit of faith. I'm not the only one.
I'm on the Redskins.
You're on with the Redskins.
I'm. Cousins has got to figure it out, right? He's kind of a smart guy. He went to Michigan State. I know him as a Michigan guy.
Yeah, I know.
Michigan
No,
State
it's okay.
guy.
I'm all right with Michigan State. It's a good time.
Okay. And we have another C4 concurrence. You have Arizona beating Oakland, right?
Yep.
Okay. Boom. Kansas City at San Diego. What side are you picking? I'm not going to tell what we picked, but what did you pick?
San Diego.
Okay, we have another C4 concurrence. There, San Diego's just way too tough. And the last game, a Monday night game, Houston Texans at Pittsburgh Steelers.
We'll go Texans.
All right, I have Texans winning. Darius, who do you have?
I have the Houston Texans.
I have the Steelers.
Really?
I'm gonna try to pick up some points.
Pick up some points. I should be picking him because I have them going to the playoffs, but I don't think they're going to do that now. It's just like my pick with Tampa Bay making the playoffs.
Can we just go over that just real quickly? What
All right.
exactly made you think Tampa Bay was going to be
I thought that they were going. The off season, I thought was good for them. I liked them picking up Evans in the first round. I thought they were going to have a pretty good defense because I picked their defense in fantasy. I don't know. It was just luck. I don't know. I just had this feeling. Okay. Just leave me
All right.
alone.
All right.
I'm the same. I'm the same person that said that the Oakland was gonna have 7 wins. So yeah, I don't know which one looks
All
worse
right.
right.
I think we can leave you alone for right now, Ryan, because on that note, it's our first break of the show. Coming up after the top of the hour, which we're about to hit, it's baseball time
Do we
on
have
C4
to?
Spirits.
Please.
Well, we have our Western Illinois
Yeah, he can talk.
Baseball Insider, and yeah, you got to tell us about what happened. What happened to the Cardinals? All right, well, you're going to figure out what goes on in Leatherneck Baseball for Mr. Adam Feiner, and then we're going to find out what happened to the Cardinals. That's all coming up next. C4 Sports on 88.3, The Dog.
WIUS Macomb.
Hey, there he is. How's it going?
I'm having a stroke.
Are you gonna shake my hand or what?
I'm having a stroke.
Wow, you're not even moving your arm.
I'm having a stroke.
Are you okay?
I'm having a stroke.
Your face looks weird too.
I'm having a stroke.
Are you having a seizure or something?
I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear.
I'm having a stroke.
You just need to know the sudden signs. Look for FAST, F-A-S-T. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. Or S, speech difficulty. Then T, time. Time to call 911 immediately, because the sooner they get to the hospital, the sooner they'll get treatment. And that can make a remarkable difference in their recovery. Know the sudden signs. Face, arm, speech, time. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
All right. I know this isn't any fun to talk about, but we should. So, who's going to do what? Flashlights?
Nowhere to be found.
Batteries?
Dead.
Emergency supply kits?
Not packed.
What about blankets?
We have an old towel.
Good enough. Cell phones?
May not work.
Emergency water?
Not a drop.
And what about food?
Nope.
Perfect. We all know where we're meeting if we're separated, yeah?
The library. On Jones' house. Bus stop. Great.
and I'll be waiting here wondering where you all are. Sounds like we don't have a plan. Who's up for mini golf?
Winging it is not an emergency plan. Make sure your kids know what to do during an emergency. Who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Visit ready.gov/kids for tips and information. A public service announcement brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to C4 Sports. I'm Adam Feiner. You can find me on Twitter at NobodyFeiner. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about Leatherneck baseball here at Western. We've just been lifting in the off season. We've been going through our yoga. Now I came from that. Very relaxed and rejuvenated. And otherwise, we've been getting back into hitting drills. As far as tee work, as far as soft toss, as far as front toss, just getting our swings down and staying in a groove.
I thought there was going to be a little
That's
bit
it?
more than that.
Yeah.
I'm about to say short and sweet. Boy.
Short and sweet.
Very short and sweet.
I guess, has there been any injuries? Just kind of, that's the only question I have. I wonder, do you guys pick up many injuries at all in the off season, or do you guys normally stay pretty safe?
We had a catcher go down with a partially torn labrum, actually, but he will not require surgery. We found out those results yesterday afternoon, so good for the team. As far as my standing, it's tough news because I would have moved up in the depth chart, but it's what's best for the team.
There you go. Team player. That's how we do it on C4 Sports. So yeah, I guess there's your quick little look to Western Illinois baseball. Not too much going on right now, but as the season comes closer and closer, there'll be more and more from Mr. Adam Feiner. And right now, I'll turn it over to you, Adam, as well as Ryan Mason, not only our two resident baseball men, our two resident Cardinals fans. So what do you guys take? Obviously, first on the Cardinals series. The season came to an end last night. So yeah, I guess what are your final thoughts on it?
Before we get into that, we're gonna get we're in it. But before,
Okay.
Ryan, I told you this earlier. Adam, you being a fellow Cardinals fan like my dad is, he texted me and he wanted me to let y'all know that he wants Mike Matheny fired. That's all I gotta say. That's it. That's my baseball
Does
input.
your dad listen?
Yes, he does.
Oh.
He's not listening right now, but I'm sending him a link to the show. It's either way.
Okay,
Yeah,
that works. Okay, so you'll listen.
yeah.
So
He'll
maybe
hear
you
this.
maybe you can edit part of this out.
No, we don't do that. We gonna
Okay,
play the
you're
whole thing. Go ahead.
your dad is wrong. They don't need to fire Mike Matheny. Mike Matheny put people in where they thought he should be. Except for a couple instances, to me, it's just, I'm sorry, coaches don't lose, it's the players. You have to make the pitches. You have to make the defensive out. Matheny's not out there doing that. If it wasn't for Adams, Choate, he stayed in for that right-handed batter because they knew he was going to bunt, and then it was just downhill after that. What if Adams caught the ball? If Adams caught the ball, at first they could have gotten 2 outs in a row because they would have probably brought Martinez in and tied and go into extra innings. You just don't know. I don't think you need to fire Mike Matheny. He's proved it. I think the biggest hit was Yachty going down because he's your head coach on the field. Because Yachty's your heart. Him going down was bad because you had A.J. Brzezinski, the flopper, and Tony Cruz.
Hey, 2005 World Series champion.
Yeah, but he's a flopper. Yeah,
That's the last time I watched a full baseball game.
Yeah.
Game 4.
So, yeah, I just want to fire him. It's just gonna be interesting what they do in the off season. Take it, Adam.
I don't think you fire me either.
No, I was about ready to sneeze.
You cried.
I mean, I got a little emotional, but no. You do not fire Mike Matheny. He's proven that he can succeed at this level. He's just got to break through, like how La Russa did, and give him time. There's still young talent on the team, even though they traded some away, and it had lackluster results with Lackey coming over. I mean, he pitched decent, and he has
He was
experience.
probably one of the best pitchers that they had in the postseason. Him and Lynn, but Lynn didn't get a win. I'm thinking more positive next year.
Yes.
Because all
Yes.
these young people have a year under.
Well, that's kind of how it
Show-
goes. It goes the Cardinals one year and then the Giants the next.
Yeah, but the Giants are going to have a par 500 season next year. It's just showing.
Well, yeah, that's why it's the
Yeah.
Cardinals
Yeah.
time next
Yeah,
year.
it's the Cardinals' time. And I mean, you have to beat them. I'm still thinking positive. It was a good season, a lot better than 13 other teams in the NL got to face. I mean, you can't say 4 straight NLCSs. Yeah, quit talking about San Francisco's made the World Series 3 out of 5. We've been consistent for the last 4 years, so shut up.
Caught Darius off guard
It
a little
is a
bit.
good point. I mean, San Fran, yes, they break through. Every even year they get to the World Series and they win it.
Yeah.
And that's why they're the hot pick right now. But they beat a good Cardinals team. And that Cardinals team is going to be better next year because they're going to have Waka healthy, which is a legitimate number 2 starter in this league. You're going to have
Lynn,
Wainwright coming back. You're going to have Lynn, who could be a 2 or a 1 on
Yeah.
some teams. I wouldn't put him at 1.
And then you have Lackey,
But- and
Sheldon
then you have
Miller. I mean, that
Lackey and
pitching
Miller.
staff is just going to be lights out. Probably, I'm going to say right now, probably best
Lights
pitching.
out. Lights out.
Lights out.
Lights
Best pitching staff next year.
Even better
Top,
than the
top,
Tigers.
top to bottom.
Even the Tigers who have the 3 Cy Young winners.
I think
NL.
Verlander's on the way
Yeah,
down.
Verlander's on
Verlander's
yeah.
not as good
I wanted to ask you about that when you guys were done with kind of your playoff World Series talk about the Tigers.
I think, well, I want to finish up on the Cardinals.
Yeah.
I think they just need to address the bullpen. You've got to get Rosenthal right in the head because it's a tight wire act and it freaks me out. I see him running in from the bullpen and it's not Jason Newsringhausen anymore. And, you know, it's not Wainwright when he first broke into the league. It's never a sure thing, but you're much more confident with those pass guys coming in. It's just a tight wire. I mean, he's depending too much on the fastball, and he wasn't hitting the spots like he was last year. I mean, he's missing poorly, badly. Randy Choate has got to go.
Yeah, he's gone. I think he
it's-
knows. I think Matheny knows that. I think Mozeliak knows that. I don't know. We'll have to get a left-handed specialist in there somehow.
Yes, you need a right hand.
Yeah, but
you need a
Necek
left.
will come back. I mean, Martinez and Rosenthal and Mott just need to have a little sit-down chat together with Yadier Molina, and Yadier Molina, to be honest with him, was like, you need to get mentally right this offseason.
Yes.
Martinez is a hothead. I like it.
Yes.
But he needs to be that consistent hothead. So I'm thinking positive things right now. I know I was harsh with some people saying shut up. This goes to the Cub fans. I'm hoping there's some Cub fans listening. Don't talk smack about the Cardinals losing when your team can't even make it and you're on another 6-year
That's
plan.
why they on Smack. They have nothing else to do.
Yeah, they have. I mean, you're on vacation. We just started vacation, and at least we know the Cardinals are going to be in the playoffs next year. We don't know about you guys. Probably, maybe not even 500 season again. So,
It's just swatting flies.
Yeah.
You know, you look at them; they're just buzzing around. You know,
so
annoying you.
yeah. So, who you picking for World Series?
Royals.
I'm going Royals. I just don't know
Royals.
how you can. I don't know how you can stop 7 straight wins.
And a
Eight
kegger
and that
at
bull-
Paul
and
Rudd's
guess
house.
what-
How
guess
do you
what-
stop a kegger at
sorry,
Paul
sorry.
Rudd's house? How? How do you stop that?
But the
Exactly.
bullpen.
Yes.
If you can get to the 6th inning, they're set.
Oh, I know.
Nobody-
'Cause it's
Because Pavel Sandoval, Buster Posey, and Brandon Belt are just gonna look stupid
Yeah.
when it comes to the 6th inning on. If they're gonna want to win, they have to win innings 1 through 5. Was not doing that against the Cardinals. It was the bullpen that. This is a completely different bullpen than they're gonna face. So I'm gonna say Royals, but I think the Royals finally lose one. I'm gonna say Royals 4-2, win in 6, back at home. I think they lose a couple, but I'm just hoping if they lose one, they're down.
right. That's the thing you worry about, especially
Yeah.
them being
That's why
a
you want to
younger
lose.
team.
That's why you want a loss in the divisional series,
Right.
Or CS, so you know how you can come back. We don't know. All right, we lost. We're done.
Right. They're a very young team, and they're to the point where I said experience can work both ways. Experience, you can be very inexperienced and really show it. You know, you really cower down to the moment. Otherwise, you don't even know you're in the spotlight. You're oblivious to the success, and you just keep going based on talent and just a hot streak. I've got Royals in 6 as well. I just think I love the point that you made with their bullpen because it's power arms, but it's a variation. It's lefty righty. It's Herrera. It's Finnegan, who pitched in the College World Series, mind you, in June for TCU, and now he's in the show, doing it in October. And then you get to Wade Davis, who has completely redesigned himself into a bullpen guy and a setup man. He's the best in the game in the 8th inning. And then Greg Holland, who has been overlooked in these last 3 years, but has always recorded 50 save seasons, 40 save seasons. I think the KC staff, the pitching staff, the starting staff, is good enough to get. They're good enough to get to even the 5th inning.
Yeah,
and then
that's
you
all
can
they
throw
need to
those
do.
four.
They're not expecting, hey, go 8. We need you to go 8 innings because how you had those days off. I mean, Holland pitched in all 4 games. I mean, you can do that in the playoffs. It's not one of those that you need to save relievers unless they pitch a lot. So maybe you'll see Holland not pitch a game this because if we say 6, he probably won't pitch one of the games. Maybe game 5 he won't pitch it because that would be 3 straight days. But I'm just hoping for a good series.
Yes.
You're gonna see a lot of small ball, unless it comes from the Royals, who's gonna hit home runs. You're gonna see great defense on one end of the ball. I just don't know how ratings are gonna be. It just looks like it could be a great World Series, or it could just be a snooze fest. I just don't know which one it's gonna be right now.
I think it's actually going to help, and I think the Royals especially help with that, with them being a new, young team that's going to energize, I mean, guys like Matt and even myself now, I wanted to stay in the Midwest. I want to see the young
I
team
wanted an
break through.
I-70 just to say,
Yes.
like I said last week, I wanted an I-70 to say, hey, bye-bye East Coast, bye-bye West Coast, bye-bye Chicago. I mean, that's the only big thing you have in the Midwest.
There's Detroit.
Doesn't even count. Detroit doesn't count. Okay.
No,
Bye-bye
it's like
Midwest.
Cleveland, but they haven't.
Bye-bye,
done anything.
bye-bye Chicago. It's gonna stay in Missouri where nobody gets a lot of attention.
Right, and I do think that the Royals being a young team, and it's brought kind of all these people in that are paying attention to postseason baseball now to them, because they find out, well, the Giants are in their 3rd World Series in the last 5 years. The appeal's not there as much with the Giants as it is with the Royals.
Yeah.
All I know is that the Royals are in the White Sox division. That's one. And Paul Rudd threw a kegger because they
That
won.
is not even at his house. His mom's house.
At his mom's house.
Yeah.
And it was only $5 cover. So those are 2 reasons to root for the Royals.
I did not realize that Paul Rudd was from Kansas City.
I didn't either until I saw that video and it made me happy.
I think it's one of those little bandwagoners that came out.
Probably.
I'm just saying that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that because there's a lot of them
Probably.
that came out.
Probably.
Came out of the woodworks because, like, oh, I'm a Royals fan now. Yeah, where were you, like, earlier this year?
Probably. I'm pretty sure you're right, but it still made me happy because I love Paul Rudd.
But I have not seen pictures from the. Do they have pictures up from
I don't
the
really
kegger?
think it happened.
You don't think?
No, I
It
think
would
it
have
was
been
a joke.
awesome.
I think it
That
was a
would have been
joke.
awesome.
I think it was a joke.
I had friends that were there at Game 4, and they said that they were in the parking lot for 2 hours afterwards because there was countless of people that brought fireworks and just started shooting off fireworks in the parking lot. So I
there
guess
you
it was
go.
a party fest in Kansas City. So it's good to see
So
that.
go Royals, and I don't like the city of San Francisco either.
Okay, so
And I
what?
used to root for the Giants because they had my favorite baseball player on their team, who now plays for the Dodgers, and his name is Brian Wilson, the funniest professional athlete ever with the greatest hair and greatest beard ever created on God's green earth. So, I have to roll with the Team Mohawk and Team Beard. So Brian Wilson is no longer on that team. He makes me laugh. So the Giants don't make me laugh anymore, so I'm rooting for the Royals. That's
Okay.
how I base my pick.
Okay. Who are you picking, Darius?
Whoever gives me a free jersey with no name on the back, make sure it's stitched though, majestic.
All right, so we'll see the bidding begin.
All right.
Um,
I have a question though about the Tigers because I was talking to my dad about it, and we hate Detroit. That's our least favorite baseball team is the Detroit Tigers, just because they always beat the White Sox. So, that being said, how does a team kind of with their talent not win a World Series? Go back to even like 06 when they lost to the Cardinals, and that's kind of when Verlander broke onto the scene. They had 3 Cy Young Award winners in their rotation. I know this year, even with Verlander having the down year because he started dating Kate Upton. So I don't know if that's true why, but that's what I like to say. So how are they the most disappointing team over the last like 20, 30 years? Because they have all this talent on their team. Miguel Cabrera, all these guys. They had Prince Fielder, I know, for a while, among others. How have they not won a World Series over the past 10 years is what I'm asking. Like how, when you look at the roster that they've had going back to 05, 06.
Good question.
At least one. How have they not won one?
I guess I would say consistency with your players. I guess when you're real good and you pay a lot of money to get Prince Fielder and he's only there for 2 years, I mean, it's inconsistency, but you have to get Cabrera over to first if you want him to survive as a Tiger for his contract. I don't know. I guess Verlander's slipping. You have 2 great starters, but we don't know how much longer David Price is going to be in Detroit. Disappointing, I would probably say. I guess I would say disappointing, but
just the way I look at it is the teams they've had over the last 10 years, I don't know how you don't win
They make it to the playoffs consistently, but they just don't go after. They don't go anywhere after that. I don't know why. I guess it shows that, and I guess I'll throw it out here that AL Central's been weak for a while. I guess they're beating up on the right people, and then when they have to face a top team from another division and a best of 5, they can't hang. I guess that's the only thing I can think of.
Well, they have Miguel Cabrera, who, from what I've heard, is the best offensive player since Albert
Not
Pujols
this year.
got.
This year
well,
he was.
the last couple of years since Pujols kind of left St. Louis.
Yeah, about the last 4 years
Yeah.
he has been. Trout kind of took that over this year.
But you have to have more than just one.
But they've
one batter.
they've had some great players as well on that team.
Victor
aside from the
Martinez
pitching
had
staff.
Yeah, he had a great year.
this year.
I'm gonna go with the bad. I'm gonna go
Jim
with
Wheeland's
bad
still the
decisions on
manager.
getting rid of players that
No.
could mean a lot. I'm flabbergasted. I don't know what would be a good. I guess the only good reason is that when they face top talent, and you're facing 1, 2, 3 starters, you're not facing maybe 3, 4, 5 like you would in the regular season. If you do go face, like, say the Red Sox are real good, you face the 3, 4, 5 pitchers. I guess that and it's kind of different and momentum, and I think I really don't know.
You bring up a good point in your last words, some momentum. I think they've ran into really hot teams. The Orioles were fighting for the best record in baseball with the Angels down the stretch. So they were coming in hot, even despite suspensions. I mean, Machado with the knee, Chris Davis with the amphetamines. There's another. Wieters with the shoulder. And that was much later, or earlier in the season. I think they've ran into hot teams. And also I think they've put too much into their pitching almost. Because you put down your starting rotation and you set it up for the postseason being, let's go Scherzer 1, Price 2, and Verlander 3, and you can intermix them. And Anibal Sanchez or Rick Porcello in the back, and those guys are sitting in the pen, being long relievers and middle relievers when they get when the starters get in trouble. I think you're depending too much on that because anybody can have a bad start. It's not that David Price just goes out there and throws 8 innings scoreless and gives up 2 hits, 11 strikeouts. It doesn't happen. And they've been in ball games, but it's the clutch hitting. They don't hit, their big names do not hit in the clutch. Miguel Cabrera is not regarded as a clutch hitter. Victor Martinez is not a clutch hitter. Ian Kinsler, not a clutch hitter. And Ian Kinsler was part of I would almost say one of the more disappointing teams in the last 20, 30 years. It's the Texas Rangers. With the 3 years where they were really prevalent and they got to the World Series twice, I think they should have won one. I can thank David Freese for
they should. I did watch
avoiding
that series. They should have beat
that
the
one.
Cardinals, but
They
that was pretty crazy.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Yeah.
Gotta say that.
And actually, you can also look at the Royals in the last 20 years. I mean, they haven't been back to the postseason. This is their first time in nearly 30 years, since 1985 when they won it. With all of the talent and high draft picks, and you're finally seeing it. But people thought that, they were just going to go back into the abyss. Their draft picks had failed. Their prospects had failed.
Yeah.
Now we're seeing it. And it's fun to watch. You're seeing the talent finally bloom right in front of you.
Yeah. Darius, do you have anything to add for the game where they hit the ball with the bat?
How about
Are
the?
we talking about cricket?
Don't ruin my joke.
Wow. Nobody laughs at that?
Don't ruin my joke.
Wow. That,
Ha ha ha.
man, that's, quietness is worse than anything, I mean, y'all could throw something at me, anything, but when it's silent, it's like, wow, I didn't make that impact I was looking for.
Come on, D Money.
Yeah. It's gonna. Oh yeah, his name's D Money Adam. Yeah, that's his name.
No, you don't. Please don't join in with this. You don't have to join in with the ignorance. See, no.
I just like the Hawk.
See, thank you.
That's
What
fine.
the people say
Adam,
too through the
that's
text.
fine.
You're not supposed to do that.
So it's
We'll
tied
make it even.
2-2 now. Okay,
2
two
and 2.
people like the Hawk.
All right. Well, I'm gonna find more people. When we go to B-Dubs, I'm gonna find more people.
You're going, and I'm not going.
No, we're all going to B-Dubs
Okay,
this weekend. If I'm here, we're all going to
No,
B-Dubs.
I'm not. My schedule is busy.
Okay, sure. All right, fine. All right, do that. Be that way, D Money. So I guess baseball is done. So I kind of wanted to talk hockey real quick for the time we do have left. Adam, what are your thoughts for this NHL season? Because me and Ryan kind of ran over that last week. I only have really one thing to add to my preseason predictions if we're able to get to that, but I want to hear what you have to say for this NHL season. It's been exciting, to say the least, for this start. It's been a lot of fun. That's all I've watched, honestly. I'm sitting here talking about all these other sports. All I've watched is hockey for the past 2 weeks. That's it. NHL Network has been on in my room 24/7.
It has been very fun. I've caught a couple of Blackhawks games, being a Blackhawks fan. Haven't really paid attention, but I think it's kind of similar trends to last year. The West is pretty loaded, and you're going to see playoff positioning play a factor late in the season and throughout the season. I think the East is kind of wide open. Boston's not what they used to be.
Lucic just got suspended too for
Really?
He did a inappropriate gesture that involved his groin region to the fans in Montreal as he was going to the penalty box, and he got fined and suspended for that.
Nice. Well, thank you, Gary Bettman, I guess. I don't know, he did something right, which is kind of shocking. I think you're going to see the rise of the Canadians again. I think they're going to be prevalent. If New York can kind of figure it out a little bit, they've kind of been slow. Henrik Lundqvist doesn't look like the same, which is kind of scary because
Yeah, he's
I
been
like to
very
regard
bad.
him
Very bad.
I think he's the best goaltender. But
I agree.
as far as right now in the game,
Yikes.
you can't say
Yeah.
that. That'd be a bold-faced lie.
Yeah. I'd have to agree with you on that. I think the East goes through Montreal. It's early. Only a couple games have been played, but they already have 8 points. They have lost one game. They're 4-1. And I think, obviously, very early, pending injuries, who's hot, who's not at the end of the season. But I really just see the Eastern Conference Final going through Montreal, and I don't see them not making it. But yeah, I think the two things I wanted to say, I didn't say last week, my two surprise teams are two teams that are off to a hot start. My team in the East to look out for, kind of on the rise, is I said last week, my Hart Trophy pick for MVP is John Tavares from the Islanders, and they're undefeated, 4-0 right now, 8 points in the East, leading their division and tied for the lead in the conference with Montreal. And then the West, my team is another team that's off to a very hot start, is the Minnesota Wild. Their speed has been incredible so far. They have 4 points, 2-0 right now. And, yeah, they've just looked impressive. They dismantled the Avalanche to start the season. Eric Holla, Mikkel Granlund, guys like that. Zach Parise looks incredibly good right now, the American. I think their only question mark is the defense in there. Who are you looking at this season? And then I'm going to put you on the spot because I put Ryan on the spot last week. If you had to pick now, I'll give you one pick I'm going to hold you to, then as well as a backup pick for the Stanley Cup.
Okay. I'm going to do... See, I'm not comfortable picking anybody in the East except for Montreal right now.
Yeah, we
I
both
think
had
they've
Montreal.
got everything going with it. And I would say maybe New York if Lundqvist figures it out. I can't see it. As far as the West, call me a homer. I'm going Blackhawks.
Yeah, I did too.
It's fine.
Sorry, I did too.
Yeah. Yeah.
As far as a backup, see, I don't think
For
the
me,
Kings
it
are
went.
gonna be
I
great.
had Blackhawks over Montreal was my primary, but then my backup, which made Ryan very happy, was I had Montreal over the St. Louis Blues as my backup pick.
Not a bad pick. Young team, very fast.
Elliott is surprised me last night in LA with another shutout, even though they lost in a shootout.
I know lots of Blues fans wanted him last year, including the guy sitting next to me.
Yeah, I wanted Elliott. I didn't want frickin' Miller in goal after what I've been seeing in the regular season.
So what do you have for your backup pick? Because it looks like we're going to have to get out of here real quick for to make way for volleyball.
Blues are a good pick. I would say, oh gosh, if I had to choose one, San Jose has always kind of been that middling team. If they can figure it out in the postseason, they could be dangerous. I'm going to go San Jose in the West.
All right, but we're
for
holding you
backup.
to Blackhawks and over Canadiens for your primary.
Yes.
All right, so that you match me with that one, and Ryan's got Canadiens
I
over Blackhawks.
had Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh,
over,
okay.
Pittsburgh. I'm still riding with Pittsburgh.
Hey, they look
have
good.
to.
Sidney Crosby's come out of the gates. He had 6 points in his first 2 games.
Yep.
He had back-to-back
Yes.
multiple goal games.
So I'm happy with. I like that, but my second pick was like Montreal. I want make me anti-American, but I want a trophy to go back to Canada. It's time for a trophy.
It's been since the year I was born, 1993, was the
It's
Montreal
time-
Canadiens'
it's-
last Canadian team to win it.
It's time for the trophy to go back to its original home.
All right,
That's
but
just
it's
me.
6:30 on the dot. It's a volleyball night here on 88.3. That means C4 Sports is off the air. Of course, listen to the show every Friday, 5 to
Especially
7.
next week with
The basketball. Yeah, basketball
So
is next
Darius,
week. It's a
yeah.
big show. It's a big
from 6
big
to
show.
7. From 6 to 7. Our
5 to 7.
Our
Well, 5 to 7 is the show.
Okay. Oh, 6 to 7 is the. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Hopefully we'll have sound effects. I'm gonna get. We'll have sound effects. Okay. I'm making sure we'll have sound effects next week for this.
Sound effects like Dougie Fresh. My sound effect number 1.
All right, so next week is a show you don't want to miss. It's NBA Preview 2014-2015. Everybody here has a lot to say about that. And
except me.
Really?
I
Oh,
don't.
okay. 3 of the 4 of us.
Nets, right, Ryan?
Yeah, go Brooklyn. Brooklyn.
So once again, I am Matt Langman at LManMatt93.
I'm at Nobody Finer on Twitter, Adam Finer in real life.
I'm Ryan Mason. I'm Ryan Mason, and please don't follow me.
And once again, if you don't want
D-Money.
to follow Ryan, you can follow me. We don't know who D-Money is. We're still looking for him, but I'm Darius Hawkins. Y'all can find me at _Hawk_13.
All right, and if you're listening for Western Illinois Volleyball, it'll be on at the top of the hour. For everybody here at C4 Sports, thank you all for listening, and have a good night. This is 88.3 The Dog. Make smart choices.